Okay, so today we're making bechamel, and in front of me I have bechamel. It's fancy for white gravy, and I'm going to show you the very, very traditional way of making it, and then I'm going to tell you how people make it all the time. So you make an onion piqué, and I don't speak French, so I might be slaughtering that. It's literally half an onion, bay leaf, and then you stick your clove in there like a pin. It's kind of fun, actually. See? Pin. And you do that with 2 cloves. It's a real fancy way to lightly season your stock, or your milk, with onion, bay leaf, and clove. So when I'm making this for a restaurant, I don't do that. I chop half an onion up and I throw the clove and bay leaf in there because I know I'm going to strain it out anyway. But it's still fun to know about these things. So in my pot I have flour and butter, equal parts flour and butter, and I'm making a blonde roux. I've already toasted it pretty well, so I'm not going to let this sit for very much longer because this is one where I don't want color. I just want to toast the starches so it doesn't taste starchy. So that's ready to go. As you can see, it's got a nice light color. There's no caramelization of any of the sugars or carbohydrates in the flour, and there's no toasting of those butter solids. All I did was just cook that flour a little. And now that that's done, I'm gonna put my milk in. Now this is important. Hot roux, cold milk. Hot roux for any other thing, cold stock. If you have a cold roux, you can use a hot liquid. If you choose to do hot and hot, you will get lumps. This is 1 gallon of milk to make 1 gallon of sauce. And the ratio is really easy. It's 1 pound of roux per 1 gallon of liquid. If you want it a little bit thicker, obviously you up your roux, but that would be 8 ounces of flour and 8 ounces of butter cooked together to make your roux. That's 1 pound to 1 gallon. If you live by that, then you will always remember how much roux you need for whatever volume. So I'm just going to stir this up, and then I'm going to put my onion in there, and then I'm going to bring this to a simmer. And then I season it with a little nutmeg, white pepper, and salt. I use white pepper because I don't want the black pepper to pepper my sauce. If I were making white pepper gravy, like you put over biscuits and gravy, you would use black pepper because then you want to see it. And that's all I'm going to do with this sauce. It's really simple. Okay, so I've got a part of my bechamel sauce finished. As mentioned in other videos, sometimes the sauces don't seem very thick, and that's because if you're using it for something else, you don't want to over thicken your mother sauce. This sauce I'll save and we'll make a Mornay out of later. Mornay sauce is literally bechamel with Gruyere or Swiss cheese and Parm cheese until you taste it, and then maybe a pinch of nutmeg. To finish this sauce, I've sprinkled some salt, some white pepper, and a little nutmeg, and I just mix that in to my sauce. And as you can see, it's a good sauce consistency, but it's not super thick. If you want to thicken this more, you can either up your roux at the beginning if you want it thicker, or you can simmer this down to the consistency you like. Most people just add a little bit more roux. For me, this is perfect to turn into something else later. I wouldn't add too much salt to this, because you add too much salt and then you say make a Mornay sauce out of this. What's going to happen is your salty cheeses will make this too salty if you put your salt and pepper to the appropriate level now. So that's why mother sauces, it's really important to season at the end or not season at all. So, bechamel.